Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Dr. Mahipal Singh Rathod, and in this video I will be discussing the issue of women's reservation in the urban local bodies in Nagaland. Now this has been going on since the past 1 or 2 months. It has led to many protests, violent protests in Nagaland. And why this topic is important for us is because it has few constitutional dimensions which you need to understand, and they are very important for exam purpose. Before beginning, let me tell you that the pendrive and tablet courses of StudyIQ are available for SSC, CGL, railways and bank examinations. You can either call on this number for more details or directly visit our website, check out all the topics that we have covered, the different type of courses that we offer, and you can order from here very easily. This is a map of Northeast India, and before beginning any topic, I like that the students are oriented to about which area about the geographical region that we are going to talk. So we are talking about Nagaland. This is Nagaland. The capital is Kohima. Okay. So now since we are on the map of Northeast India, tell me something. You have to tell me which is the state that borders the countries of Myanmar and Bangladesh, which is the only Indian state that has its boundary with these two countries. Tell me in comments. So the state of Nagaland was formed in 1963 when the area of Naga Hills was separated from the then state of Assam. Some special status was given to Nagaland state, and it is according to the 5th schedule and the article 371A of the constitution. I will talk about them later. And the reason for giving this special status was that Nagaland had a very distinct and unique political and cultural structure. Now why is this the culture unique? Because it is majorly a tribal society, and the control of the tribal councils is over the people. Okay, the tribal councils have been the long time governing bodies in those areas, and to preserve those tribal bodies, such provisions were given to the state of Nagaland. The current government of Nagaland is headed by the Democratic Alliance of Nagaland. This is the name of the coalition, DAN, and the main party in this is Naga People's Front, NPF. The chief minister is Mr. TR Zeliang of the NPF party. Now the tribal societies of Nagaland, there are big 18 major tribal organizations, and they together form the Naga Ho. Okay, so it is the apex body. Apex means the topmost body of these 18 tribal organizations. So they usually take their decisions together in this Naga Ho, and all the major political, social decisions of the Naga society, Naga people are taken by this, and no government can proceed in any kind of big decision without taking the Naga Ho into confidence. So that is the importance of this organization. Now I will talk about those constitutional aspects which have given rise to this current conflict. Okay, first is the article 371A. Now this article says, so this language is very complex, so I will tell you very simply that it says that no act of parliament is applicable to the state of Nagaland if it is affecting these four things. Okay, so any Supreme Court directive, any parliament act that the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha makes, it is not applicable to Nagaland if it is affecting the religious or social practices of Nagas, if it is affecting the customary law of Naga, or it is affecting the administration of civil and criminal justice according to the Naga law. So if any kind of criminal law is against the Naga customary law, then the customary law will prevail. Okay. And most importantly, ownership and transfer of land and its resources. According to the Naga laws, the ownership of land is with the village council. Okay, not individually, but with the village council, not with the government also. That is also very important. Usually everywhere in India, the government is the owner of the land, but here in Nagaland, the ownership of land is with these tribal societies and not the government. This is one of the big reasons that there are no big infrastructure projects, or if the central government cannot just give away land simply to Tata company to open a power plant in Nagaland. No, it cannot, because the land belongs to the tribal societies and they do not transfer the land and they do not transfer the ownership very easily. Okay, now until and unless the State Assembly of Nagaland says it is okay, that law will not be applicable to Nagaland. So this is a very unique position. Okay, remember 370 is for those temporary provisions relating to Jammu and Kashmir, and 371A is for Nagaland, and similarly there are other 371B, C, D, E for other states as well. Okay. Then we come to the 74th Amendment Act of India. It is also called as sometimes as the Municipalities Act, because according to this constitutional amendment, the municipalities were given constitutional status for the first time in India. It added a new part in the constitution, part 9A, and it is from article 243P to Z, I think. Okay, not sure exactly. And then there is the 12th schedule of the constitution. You have to just remember this part 9A and 12th schedule. Okay. So now the state governments, all the state governments of India are under constitutional obligation to adopt the new system of municipalities, and they have to have elections every 5 years. They have to transfer those powers to the urban local bodies which are listed under the 12th schedule, and so on. Okay. So this is a constitutional obligation now. You have to do it. It is not upon yourself. Earlier it was so that many states did not hold elections for 10 years, 15 years in their panchayats, in their urban municipalities. Okay. But now they have to do so. So this is the entire crux of the issue. It is a conflict between this 74th Amendment Act and this Article 371A. It is a conflict between these two acts of the Constitution itself that has given rise to the current problem. Another thing is that in this 74th Amendment Act, in this Act of 1992, there is this Article 243T. It says that 1/3 of the seats, 33% of the seats will be reserved for women. Okay. And along with this, there is this Article 243Z. It says that there can be restrictions of this law, this act, in the scheduled areas. It means that it is not necessary to enact all of these provisions in these areas falling under the Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 regions. Now, what is this Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 areas? Schedule 6 areas are the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Okay. And Schedule 5 areas are, apart from these 4 states, any other scheduled areas where there is a large tribal population. Those areas can be designated by the government and as Schedule 5 area, and so Nagaland also falls under Schedule 5. So in these area, basically in tribal societies, wherever the tribal population is very high, they have some special protections, and you cannot enact all the acts of that is the 1/3 reservation in these areas. So this is one of the major arguments that the Naga bodies are giving, that the constitution itself is saying that it is not necessary to enact this reservation here, and it is also not necessary according to this Article 371A. Now I come to another aspect of this problem. There is a big misconception amongst people that Nagaland is matriarchal. In fact, the misconception is regarding the entire Northeast. Everyone thinks that the entire Northeast is matriarchal, okay, and there is no patriarchy over there. It is a wrong notion. Do not have this notion. In states like Meghalaya, yes, the society is matriarchal to a large extent, but in places like Nagaland, it is not so. Okay, the society is actually very patriarchal in Nagaland. Although the female literacy rates are very high, the enrollment in higher education is very good. Also, women are well represented in government jobs. It means they are better off than in most places in India. But still, they are not empowered completely. Why? Because they do not have any inheritance right. A property cannot be a house, the property cannot be given from the father to the daughter. It can only be given to the son. So they have no inheritance right. And another thing, they are not represented in the decision making bodies. It means those tribal bodies, the tribal ho-ho that I talked about, the village councils, they do not have women at all. They are completely male dominated. So this is a big hindrance in women's empowerment in the state of Nagaland. So although they are very better off, they are better off than in many states of India, but still they do not have all the powers. They do not have complete equality. So what started the current problem? See, firstly, there's a small fact that there is not even a single woman MLA in Nagaland since 1963. So in the past 53 years, there has been no woman elected as an MLA. So this organization called Naga Mothers Association, they have been leading this protest. They have been leading this fight for reservation of women everywhere, in panchayats, in urban local bodies. So they moved the Supreme Court in 2012 because the government did not implement the 33% reservation. Okay, So the Supreme Court ruled in their favor in late 2016, sometime in September or October. And after this Supreme Court ruling, the Nagaland cabinet, the Nagaland government under T.R. Ziliang, they decided to hold elections accordingly. That they said that yes, now we have to give 33% reservation because the Supreme Court has ruled in the favor of Naga Mothers Association. But as soon as this discussion was going on, the Naga tribal bodies, they started holding rallies and protests against this decision. They stopped roads at many places. You can see here people are sitting on the road and blocking the highway. They pressurized these women candidates to withdraw their nomination. To withdraw their nominations. Elections were supposed to be held on 1st of February. So many women candidates had filed their nominations, and also other people. Also, they pressurized many males, many men to withdraw their nominations. Why? Because they said that if you do not do so, we will excommunicate you from the village or the society. Okay. वो हिंदी में कहते हैं ना, हुक्का पानी बंद कर देंगे. दैट इज excommunication. Okay. So finally on 30th January, T.R. Ziliang says that yes, okay, due to these protests, I will postpone the elections by 2 months. But on 31st January, the Guwahati High Court gave its decision that no, you have to hold elections on 1st February itself. Remember, there is no High Court of Nagaland. The Guwahati High Court, which is present in Assam, it has jurisdiction over Assam, Nagaland, then Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram. 4 states are under the jurisdiction of Guwahati High Court, although there is a bench at Kohima. So there is a Kohima bench of Guwahati High Court. Remember, whichever states have common high courts, you need to know them. Okay. So on 1st February, elections were held in 12 urban local bodies. But since there was huge violence, large scale violence right from 1st February itself, these elections were declared null and void. This violence was led by the opposition groups like the Naga tribal bodies. The one action committee was formed. It led many protests, and during these protests, many government offices were burned down. Many government vehicles were burned down. Offices were attacked. Government officers were attacked. They even tried to go inside the house of the chief minister. The police fired upon a few people during these protests, and 3 people died. Again now, due to the death of these 3 people, more protests were held. Okay, so this has been going on in February, early part of February. Now, what are the reasons for opposition by these tribal organizations? So first, these 2 statements were given by 2 leaders. So first statement is very, I don't have words for this. Reservation for women will encourage instability and corruption in our society. So this is completely wrong. Okay. Second statement was more balanced. They said that it is our traditional laws. Naga culture, they debar women. It means that women cannot own land, and hence our customary laws preclude women from inheriting land. Now you might ask that what has this land issue got to do with the urban local body elections? See, if women are elected, if 33% reservation is given, they will be the elected leaders of that area. And now these local bodies have power over the land. They will have power over the land and not the tribal society of that region. So ultimately, the power will go from where? From the tribal organizations to the urban local body. And if there are women here, it says that women cannot have ownership of land. So these 2 issues are related. Now what they proposed instead was that women will be nominated to these bodies. Okay, not elected, nominated. And this nomination will be after mutual consultation, but they will have voting rights. They can also contest for the position of chairperson. Also, we will give them 40% reservation. Instead of 33% elected members, there can be 40% nominated members. But the Naga Mothers Association rejected this. Why? Because see, nomination is just in the hands of those tribal bodies only again, and they will nominate whoever they want. They will nominate such women who are in their favor. They will not nominate women who are against them. It is but obvious. So this idea was completely rejected by the women's organization and also the and so the talks were down, and after the talks fell apart, the protests started again. So this was in December and January. Another issue is a big underlying cause is that there is a fear psychosis in the society that eventually the 1993 Act, that is this Urban Local Bodies Act, it will lead to taxation on tribal lands. And as I told you that the Naga society considers the land to be theirs and not the government's, and they will say that tomorrow you can tax us, you can put tax on the land that on which we are living. So this is not acceptable to us. You can also ask for reservation for non-tribal people tomorrow. This is what the Naga people say, that if you ask for, if there is a provision for reservation in these urban local bodies and panchayats for non-tribal people, this will not be acceptable to us at all. So this is an underlying cause. This is also a big issue, and not just the 33% reservation issue. Now, what are the reasons given by the people who are in favor of implementing the quota? Firstly, they say that women's empowerment is needed in Naga society despite it being less patriarchal than most areas of India. So they accept that women are better off in Nagaland than many areas in India. But still, we need empowerment because we do not have complete constitutional rights. Also, the chief minister said this. He said that towns and cities are new concepts. Naga society was primarily village based earlier. So this concept is new to us, and it has got nothing to do with our old customs and tradition. We did not have cities earlier. So how is this against the Naga customary laws? Okay, so this towns, cities and urban local bodies, this is all new concept, and we should treat it as new concepts and we should accept this. Another thing that the chief minister said was that we had already given 25% reservation in village development boards back in 1977 itself. So why is this now a big issue that we are giving 33% in urban local bodies? Now there is this village development board. It is the executive body through which all the funds for the development of villages goes. Okay, so it is just like a village panchayat, but it is an executive body. So there is 25% reservation in these boards for women in Nagaland, and this is there since 1977. And finally, the biggest reason is that this is the constitutional mandate according to the 74th Amendment Act of the Constitution, and hence we have to accept this. Okay, so what is the way forward in this complicated situation? So the way forward is that, see, Naga society prides itself in showing equality to both the sexes in many aspects. The Naga women are very much active in the fields of jobs, in higher education, in colleges, and it is not that they are discriminated against, but we should bring more equality without any external pressure. It means that they should be allowed in the decision making position now. They should be allowed in these tribal councils or tribal organizations without any external law telling them to do so. So now the onus is on the Naga society to bring its customary laws in harmony with the constitutional laws. They should by themselves allow women in their governing bodies, so that there is no need of such constitutional issues. Finally, the customary laws of anywhere have to be modified slightly in keeping with the times, in keeping with the changes of time, and so if the customary laws are modified, this problem will be solved automatically. I hope you understood the issue completely, and if you liked this video, kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.